So guys, like this is my life now. So whenever I'm traveling, I just want to get up in the morning, check my phone, see if there are any notifications or emails or anything that could be important. Hey guys, welcome back. For those of you who don't know me, I'm here and this is my channel. In today's video, I'm gonna be talking about how to live in the USA for free. The thumbnail might seem clickbait, but hear me out. If you are from Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia, pretty much anywhere other than North America, then this video will be relevant to you. The thing is that every single country in the world has their own different rules and regulations when it comes to travel and visas. So if you're planning on moving to the United States, then you need to make sure that you follow these steps. Now what happens if you don't follow these steps? Well, basically you will not be able to get into the United States in the first place. And by the way, guys, I am in New York right now. I've been living here for 2 weeks. I love this city so much, and in this video, I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks on how to live here for free. But before we get into everything, let me tell you a little bit more about myself and how I ended up moving to the USA. So as you probably already know, I'm originally from Eastern Europe. I am from a country called Lithuania, and I moved to the USA because I wanted to pursue a career in fashion. Like this is my life now. So whenever I'm traveling, I just want to get up in the morning, check my phone, see if there are any notifications or emails or anything that could be important. And I was thinking maybe I should move to either Paris or Milan. But then I thought, no, actually I want to go somewhere where people don't speak another language, where they only speak English. I want to completely immerse myself into an environment where I have to learn English, otherwise I would never do it. And at the same time, I also want to be in a place where there are a lot of job opportunities in the fashion industry. And that's why I ended up in New York. I didn't really know anyone here. I didn't really have any connections. I just had my passport and $8,000 in my bank account. That was all I needed to start over somewhere new. If you're thinking about doing the same thing, well, let me tell you, it's definitely possible, but it's not easy. The first thing you need to figure out is whether you qualify for a worker's visa. And no, you don't need to win the lottery for this. It's actually pretty simple. All you have to do is find a company that's willing to sponsor your worker's visa. If you're wondering how you can find such a company, well, I recommend using LinkedIn. That's exactly how I found mine. I literally messaged like hundreds of companies until I got a reply from someone who was willing to help me. And once you have a company that's willing to sponsor you, you need to go through what's called the Labor Department process. Essentially, they just want to make sure that they are paying you fairly and that you actually have a job to come to work. Once everything is approved, they will send your case to the consulate, and then you will receive a notification that you have a worker's visa. I'll attach a PDF file below so you can read more about this process. And also, I know it sounds complicated and stuff, but you don't actually have to do anything yourself. Your employer is basically taking care of everything. So it is their job to make sure that you have a visa and you don't have to pay anything out of your own pocket. Now, most people think that this is where the expenses end, but it's not. You still have to pay for your plane ticket, for example. However, if you decide to look for your job opportunities on your own without any agencies or any companies, you can apply for something called the H-1B visa. This visa is reserved for highly skilled workers in specialty occupations. To be eligible, you must have a bachelor's degree or higher and at least 1 year of experience in the field. If you are selected, you will be able to work in the US for up to 3 years, and you can even apply for a green card after you have worked here for 4 years. And like the previous visa, you do have to pay for this one, and it costs around $10,000. This money goes towards your USCIS filing fee, your attorney fees, and all of the medical tests that you have to take. As for housing, you do have a couple of options. One option is house sitting. I was actually house sitting for the first few months when I moved to New York. It's a great way to meet people and explore different parts of the city. Plus, it's free accommodation. All you have to do is take care of the house and make sure that everything is okay while the owners are away. There are many websites where you can find houses that need to be taken care of, and usually you can stay for at least a few months. Another option is renting a room in a shared apartment. This is probably the cheapest way to live in New York. On average, it costs around $1,200 per month. If you want to find a place like this, I recommend using websites like Roomy or Craigslist. Make sure to always do your research and make sure that the person you are moving in with is trustworthy. Also, keep in mind that if you want to live in Manhattan, it will be way more expensive than if you were to move to Brooklyn or Queens. It's just a fact. I wish I knew this before I moved here because I think I could have saved a lot of money by living somewhere else. I mean, yes, living in Manhattan is amazing, but it's just not worth it financially. Now, when it comes to healthcare, you do have a couple of options. You can either enroll in a marketplace plan, which is subsidized based on your income, or you can just buy a plan directly from a private insurance company. If you choose the first option, you will need to apply during open enrollment, which takes place every year from November to January. The good thing about having a subsidized plan is that you can get coverage for as low as $70 a month. But the downside is that you don't have as many plan options as you would have on the individual marketplace. With a private insurance company, you can choose from a variety of plans and you don't have to worry about income limits or subsidies. However, the plans are not cheap. You can expect to pay at least $300 a month for a basic plan. I personally used Kaiser for the first few months when I moved here and I really liked it. They have a lot of doctors and specialists in their network, and they also offer a variety of different services. When it comes to making money, you have to consider your skills and experience. What are you good at? What can you offer to the world? And what do you want to do with your life? Don't just think about how much money you can make. Think about how you can make a difference. What kind of impact you want to have on the world? If you want to find a job, I recommend using job search engines like Indeed, ZipRecruiter, and Glassdoor. Most of the jobs that are available are part-time, but if you really want to make some good money, then I recommend looking for something full-time. As for internships, I recommend checking out websites like InternMatch or WayUp. Keep in mind that a lot of companies only offer unpaid internships, but it's still a great way to gain experience and build your professional network. If you're willing to do odd jobs, you can use TaskRabbit or Fiverr to make some extra cash. Personally, I think that everyone should try freelancing at least once in their life because it is a great way to earn money on your own terms. You don't have to ask permission from anyone. You can choose your own hours, and you can work remotely. Some of the best freelancing websites include Upwork, Fiverr, and Guru. That's it for today's video, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you thought about it and if you have any questions. Feel free to ask me. The United States is one of the most popular countries in the world for immigrants and international students because of its well-established economy, excellent education system, and high standard of living. But like any country, it has its pros and cons. So before deciding if the US is right for you, here are 10 things you should know. Welcome back to the channel. Let's get into today's video about the good and the bad in the USA. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. Number 1. The country is huge and varied. This is a big pro for anyone who wants to find the perfect place to live. And like many countries, the US offers a little bit of everything. Do you prefer warm weather? You've got places like Florida, California, and Hawaii. Are you more of a cold weather person? Then maybe Minnesota or Maine is more your speed. There are also plenty of places in between. And if you do decide to move, getting around the country is pretty easy thanks to a well-developed transportation system. But even if you don't plan on moving around much, having all this choice means that you can usually find somewhere that suits your personality and preferences. Number 2. High average income. According to a report by the World Data Atlas, the average household income in the U.S. is around $73,000 per year, which puts them among the top countries worldwide for average income. For individuals, the median salary in the U.S. is around $52,000. It is worth noting that these are average figures and actual earnings can vary widely depending on factors such as occupation, education, experience, and location. However, compared to many other countries, the U.S. does offer numerous career opportunities. Some of the sectors that pay the most include finance, technology, healthcare, and manufacturing. And while salaries aren't everything, they're certainly an important factor to consider when thinking about living and working in another country. So yeah, if money is a major concern for you, the U.S. might just be able to help you out. No. 3. Housing. While housing prices in the U.S. can vary greatly depending on location and other factors, it's generally considered to be more affordable than in many other developed countries, especially if you're willing to live in the suburbs or in a rural area. Additionally, houses tend to be quite spacious, which can be appealing to families or anyone looking for more room. Of course, affordability is subjective and depends on your individual financial situation. But it is worth considering the cost of housing in your current country and comparing it to what you could expect to pay in the U.S. In general, the U.S. offers a range of housing options at various price points, and you should be able to find something that meets your needs and budget. Number 4. Education. The United States is home to some of the best universities in the world, which makes it a great place to study if you're an international student. And even if you're not interested in higher education, there are plenty of other options. The U.S. has a long tradition of cultural diversity, and this is reflected in its schools and educational institutions. Whether you want to learn about art, history, science, or anything else, you'll likely be able to find a school that offers the classes you're interested in. So whether you're looking to further your education or just brush up on your skills, the U.S. has a lot to offer. No. 5. Plenty of things to do. From its world-class museums to its iconic landmarks, there's no shortage of things to see and do in the U.S. So whether you're interested in art, history, culture, or just want to experience all that this country has to offer, you'll find plenty to keep you entertained. There are also plenty of outdoor activities available, especially if you're willing to explore beyond the big cities. Whether you want to go hiking, camping, fishing, or just relax in a national park, you'll find plenty of opportunities to do so. And let's not forget about the food. No matter where you go in the U.S., you're sure to find plenty of delicious restaurants serving up all kinds of different cuisines. So whether you're in the mood for pizza, sushi, or something else entirely, you'll find it here. Number 6. Healthcare. The United States has one of the most advanced healthcare systems in the world. This means that you will have access to cutting-edge treatments and technologies that may not be available in other countries. Additionally, there are plenty of hospitals and clinics around the country, so you'll never be far from medical care. While the quality of care is generally high, it's important to note that the U.S. healthcare system is not free. You'll need to have health insurance to access care, and even with insurance, you may have to pay out-of-pocket expenses. That said, there are government programs like Medicare and Medicaid that can help cover the cost of health care for low-income individuals and seniors. Overall, the U.S. healthcare system is undoubtedly advanced and efficient, but it's also expensive. You'll need to do your research and make sure you have a plan in place to cover your medical costs. No. 7. Easy to move to and within. Once you have a work visa or green card, moving to the U.S. is relatively easy. You'll need to go through a few steps like getting a social security number and driver's license, but these are all pretty straightforward processes. And once you're settled in, getting around the country is also pretty easy. The U.S. has a well-developed transportation system, so it's easy to travel from one city to another. And even if you don't feel like taking a long trip, there are plenty of things to see and do in every state. Number 8. The American Dream. Despite its flaws, the U.S. is still a land of opportunity. If you're willing to work hard, you can achieve your dreams. This is especially true if you're an immigrant. The US is one of the most popular destinations for immigrants around the world. And for good reason. The US offers a high standard of living, excellent job opportunities, and a chance to start fresh. Sure, there are challenges that come with moving to a new country, but the potential rewards are definitely worth it. The US is a country full of promise, and it is definitely worth exploring if you're looking for a new challenge. Now, we've talked about all the good things about the US, but it's only fair to talk about some of the negatives as well. Here are 5 things that you should know before deciding if the US is right for you. 9. Work visas and green cards. As we mentioned earlier, the US is a popular destination for immigrants and international students. But it can be tough to get a work visa or green card. The process is long and expensive, and there's a lot of competition. This can be discouraging. But it's important to remember that it's not impossible. If you have the right qualifications, you can find a job in the US and eventually get a green card. It just takes time and persistence. However, this is often the biggest obstacle for people who want to move to the US. 10. Cars. If you're from a big city, you're probably used to being able to get around without a car. But this isn't the case in the US. Public transit is limited outside of major cities, so most people rely on their cars to get around. This has some obvious drawbacks. For one, you'll need to purchase and maintain a vehicle, which can be expensive. Additionally, traffic can be a major problem in many parts of the US. So you'll need to factor that into your daily life. Finally, parking can be tough to find and expensive. All that being said, there are still ways to get around without a car, especially if you live in a major city. But if you're planning on living in a suburb or rural area, then you will likely need to buy a car. So those are 10 things you should know about the US before deciding if it is right for you. Hopefully this video was helpful. And if you're still interested in learning more about the US, we've got plenty of other videos on our channel, so make sure to check them out. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.